The Arts and Education Roundtable.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. On what I know is a toasty day.
Yep. Test. Can you hear me really clearly? No? Testing. Great.
That's how delayed it is.
Grab one from my colleagues Lisa or Diana.
I got married 2 years ago and she was not it. It was 95 degrees.
We give them a big round of applause. The teaching artist in me does like to practice before we start anything, and I love to do some chants. So let's practice a few of those so that we have them in our bodies, in our voices. Easy one.
I told Kim. Well, what happens if there's 2?
They both it's in 5.
Just gonna keep
When
one.
I say fair pay, you say now. Fair pay. Now. Fair pay. Now. When I say teaching, you say artist. Teaching.
Artist.
Teaching.
Artist.
We'll see if we do this one. Okay. We might be a little hot. We might be a little overwhelmed. Living wage is what we need.
Living wage is what we need.
Support the arts so kids succeed.
Support the arts so kids succeed.
Living wage is what we need.
Living wage is what we need.
Support the arts so kids succeed.
Support the arts so kids succeed.
Alright. So as you can see as well, the sun is going to be moving this way. I might have us take another step up so that way we take advantage of the shade as much as we can.
I might
I'm going to take a sip of water. Grab the mic.
You want your own and one to pass around, or just?
I'm just going to do the one pass up.
It's on and ready. We are.
Thank you. If you are one of our speakers, what we're going to do is, so that it picks it up on the live stream, I'm going to have this mic and I'll pass it to you once it's your turn. If I don't give it to you, though, you can clip it to you. Yeah. Okay. Good to go?
Yeah.
All right.
So I think that counts hours a week or short.
Keep arts alive.
Nixon 5!
Keep arts alive.
Nixon 5!
It starts.
With the arts!
It starts.
With the arts!
Excellent. Is everybody ready to rally? Excellent. Hi, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Kimberly Olson, and I'm proud to be the Executive Director of the New York City Arts and Education Roundtable. The Roundtable is a grassroots organization representing thousands of artists, educators, teaching artists, and cultural leaders who are fighting for a New York City where every student has access to arts education and every arts education worker can afford to call New York City home. We are also thrilled to be joined today by some incredible council members that will be joining us shortly, as well as members of our incredible workforce. We are gathering today to urge the council and the mayoral administration to invest more in the arts and in this incredible workforce that brings arts education to New York City's 1 million students. In New York's rich arts ecosystem, So we rely on a coalition of organizations and educators, which includes nearly 3,000 certified arts teachers and over 11,000 artists, also known as teaching artists. When I say teaching, you say artist. Teaching.
Artist.
Teaching.
Artist.
Yes. These teaching artists are educators, advocates, and small business owners, and working artists who are bringing the sensibilities of an artist and teacher to classrooms and communities across the 5 boroughs. However, our system to support these artists is broken. What do you think? Yeah. A notoriously confusing and delayed contracting process, payments that are chronically late, and inconsistent funding from the city and city agencies means our workforce, our workers, are waiting until the last minute to learn if a program's budget is going to be kept or cut. As a result, we're failing our students, our teaching artists, our organizations, and we're failing to invest in workers that are investing so much in our communities. These challenges have real life impact. Today, a typical teaching artist earns an average of $35,000 to $50,000 annually, with little to no employer health insurance. Nearly 80% say their work doesn't pay enough to live in or near the city they serve. And when teaching artists suffer, our schools and our students suffer, because nearly 3 in 4 public schools, they rely on funding from the Department of Cultural Affairs, the CDF or Cultural Development Fund program, to support arts in schools. 1 in 4 depends on a cultural organization to provide external funding that actually funds arts in schools. Without the teaching artists and organizations who deliver arts education, students simply can't get the education they deserve. These folks are essential partners to our in-school teachers, and that's especially true in underfunded schools who are disproportionately lack a certified arts teacher and who are relying on teaching artists to fill gaps. So today, we are standing together to call on the council, on our city, to stand up for teaching artists and to invest in the cultural institutions that sustain them. That means first restoring and baselining $30 million for the Department of Cultural Affairs so that the city can sustainably invest in arts education. Make some noise for that. Right now, our most recent executive budget has just baselined only $10 million of that for cultural organizations and their programs, and that's not enough. This also means contract reform. We need transparent, timely, and accessible processes so that people can get paid and do work without having a 28-month delay in order to hear back from the city. We're also urging city leaders to restore and enhance the Support for Arts Instruction initiative from $4 to $6 million to meet the increased demand and extend opportunities into the early childhood space, in line with the rollout of 2K, 3K, 4K across our city. The future of New York City starts with the arts, but that requires consistent funding and support so that the arts are accessible to all New Yorkers. Woo! It starts
With the arts.
It starts
With the arts.
Excellent. So we're now going to hear some other voices. We're going to kick things off and hear from some members from our workforce. I'm first going to turn it over to Ariel Rosales, flamenco dancer and teaching artist. Welcome, Ariel.
Hello. My name is Ariel Rosales. I am a flamenco dancer and teaching artist with Flamenco Vivo, Lotus Music and Dance, City Center, all of the above. I have been working as a teaching artist for 20 years. Yeah, it was my first job and I love it and I'm good at it and I love what I do. In the past 6 years, I would say, since through the pandemic, I used to start my teaching artist work in September through June. It was a full year endeavor. It is now only in spring. It used to be a consistent thing that I can rely on. That is no longer the case, and it has become worse each year. We've lost funding, particularly with some of the flamenco programming. You can see it having gone down considerably, and it's not only affecting myself as a worker, as a teaching artist. I've considered a career change, which is very not only sad, but think about the kids as well, right? It is proven, and there's several studies, that the arts, and I'm a dancer, so the performing arts and dance helps children grow, not only do better in school, it helps with critical thinking, it helps with awareness, it helps with healing, it helps with so many different things. It is not just an elective or something separate. It's part of being a human being and helping become empathetic, critical thinking human beings. Yeah. And it is not only important for children in general, but here in New York City, we are the home and birthing place of arts and performing arts and dance and theater and all of that. And we should be celebrating that and fostering that and the next generation. If you want to be a mathematician or something non-arts related, the arts can help with that. If you're in the sports, you want to be the next Knicks player, dance helps with that. But we need to be supported. We need consistency. We need strategy. We need support. And we need to feel like in order to do the work that we do, we need to feel taken care of. And we don't feel taken care of. I don't feel taken care of. I feel like I'm walking on eggshells and I don't know what the next step is. And that doesn't help me do my job. And that doesn't help our kids in the city. So please help so that we can continue the funding, continue our job, continue keeping the vibrancy of art and culture in this city, which is what we're all about. And yes, it is important. Thank you so much. I think that's over 2 minutes.
When I say fair pay, you say now. Fair pay.
Now.
Fair pay.
Now.
When I say teaching, you say artist. Teaching.
Artist.
Teaching.
Artist.
Thank you so much, Ariel, for kicking us off. We're going to keep it going. Next up, we're going to hear from Martika Williams, teaching artist and multidisciplinary artist and entrepreneur. Welcome, Martika.
Good morning, all.
Good morning.
Yes. My name is Martika Williams, and I teach theater at schools across New York City with Arts Connection and New York Theater Workshop. And I'm here to say that years of slow contracting and consistent funding and a bureaucratic mess have made it harder and harder to do our jobs. For 3 years, I've worked at a school in Brooklyn that had no foundational support for the arts outside of an allocated budget for teaching artists to come in 2 times a week. No additional training funding or other supports for classroom teachers who were subtly doubling their curriculum with added arts curriculum. Not enough materials, certainly not enough space for materials to be stored securely. Not enough space for students to explore the art form, and not enough time to do the impossible through our programming, which school administrators are so often expecting us to do, even when they bring us in at the final hour. Through all this, I was and still am expected to walk into the school bright with energy and passion for the art form and for my students. And when I leave the school, I'm immediately trying to figure out how to buy groceries, how to navigate in housing insecurity, and how to pay bills on an income that is so inconsistent. To some, being able to pay teaching artists to come into the schools a couple of days a week is enough. Well, I'm here to tell you that is the bare minimum. When the system fails us, kids fail. Teaching artists are often the only arts educators in under-resourced schools. And when we can't make ends meet and we have to leave, it's the students who suffer the most. The contracting process is a nightmare. There are no clear timelines, transparency, no accountability, and we need the council to shine a light on how intact contracting actually works. The city depends on us to deliver arts education, but the pay hasn't kept up with what it actually costs to live here. This has to change. The preliminary budget included $10 million for cultural institutions and provisions to improve transparency in arts education. That's a great step, and we hope that will baseline an additional $20 million in the adopted budget to ensure sustained investment in cultural institutions, artists, and communities. We are asking council members Ressler and Dinowitz to hold a joint hearing, invest in fair pay, and build real support for arts education infrastructure this city says it values. It starts
With the arts.
It starts
With the arts.
Thank you.
Give it up for Martika! Keep arts alive!
Nixon 5.
Keep arts alive!
Nixon 5.
Excellent. Now Now, you've heard from a few members of our workforce. We're now going to toss it over to one of the most incredible arts education champions in our city today, the incredible Councilmember Rita Joseph, Chair of the Higher Education Committee.
Good morning, everyone, and it starts with the arts. It starts with the arts, and we know how important arts are in schools with students. I can remember my art teacher, my music teacher till today, Alexine Fenty at PS 139 in Brooklyn. Every Friday, we used to dance in the cafeteria to Fame. Yes. So I remember that, and we named the school after her. So I know the impact of music and Miss Bradford in middle school. So I know what it means and what it takes, but we also have to take care of the workforce, right?
Yes.
The delayed contracts, no, that's a boo. Because you have to get paid, you have your bills to pay as well, guys. We talk about the real unfortunate way they treat this workforce, and we need to do better. So not only am I going to champion making sure we have enough music and art teacher, but making sure the workforce is taken care of as well. So good morning, I'm Councilmember Rita Joseph, a forever educator and the chair of the Council Committee on Higher Education. Thank you to everyone here and the organizers for bringing us together this morning. Arts are critical not just for students, but for teachers. When students are exposed to the arts, their worlds open up. As a teacher, I always try to find ways for my students to have physical connection to the lesson at hand. Teaching about Greek, teaching about African arts, I want my kids to see that styles, vases, and paintings for themselves, to have real experiences. That is what the art provides. Art provides a space for students to shape their own block of clay, to pick up their own brush. It strengthens all aspects of their education. So we must invest in the arts for our children by ensuring every school has a certified art teacher and an arts educator to protect them from skyrocketing inflation, right, guys? Improving city contracting to get artists and thousands of other vendors paid on time, and creating an artist-focused insurance pilot are attainable, meaningful ways, and affordability initiative. When we talk about affordability, they have to think of the arts workforce as well. When students have access to arts education, they flourish. We see them blossom in their full selves. Thank you again for being here, and we're going to continue fighting for arts funding. I'm forever indebted to each and every one of you for the work that you do, the lives that you change, the students you inspire. So on behalf of myself and the council, thank you.
Please give it up for Councilmember Joseph. How lucky are we to have a leader like that leading our great city? Truly. That's what happens when you have an educator at the helm. So we're going to keep it going and turn things back over to members of our workforce. Next up, I would like to introduce Juan Castano, who is Executive Director of Kaipuli Mexican Dance. Welcome, Juan!
Good morning. Buenos dias. Buenos dias. My name is Juan Castaño. I'm one of the founders of Kaipuli Mexican Dance Company, executive director and a teaching artist. Our organization has served New York City students and teachers for over 20 years. And we don't only just teach dance. We teach an unspoken language, one filled with creativity, culture, resilience, and joy. All this during a time when sometimes families now are afraid to be in parks, walk their children to schools, let alone celebrate our cultural legacies and share them across New York City. Our honorable work as teaching artists and its impact is made harder and harder when we have bureaucratic processes that we can't navigate, money that we can't count on, and a bureaucracy that treats our artistic and cultural work far less than honorably. I'll give you a specific example. Our organization applied for our first MTAC, our first contract with the Department of Education. We submitted it in November of 2022. We received the last approval this March, over 3 years later. Yeah. We were told at the beginning, if you work hard, if you're diligent, if you do what you're supposed to do, you will get this in 6 to 12 months. 3 years later, that was not true. Throughout the process, our calls, our emails were ignored for weeks, sometimes months at a time. And when it was completed, we didn't even get guidance on how to navigate the system. But we do what artists always do. We get it done and we figure it out. Now, the preliminary budget, thank you for that 10 million. It's not enough. If this city truly believes in arts education infrastructure, we need a 20 million more. We need a $30 million baseline. Thank you much for hearing me, and muchas gracias.
Thank you, Juan. You're right. That's not enough. Can I hear that? That's not enough. Not enough. If we want fair pay for our artists, if we want sustainability for our workforce, that means we have to invest in them what they are investing in our community. So we're going to, with our community in mind, we're going to bring up one more member of our community, Halima Henderson, actor and teaching artist. Welcome, Halima.
Hi, my name is Halima Henderson, and I'm a proud union actor and theater teaching artist in the Bronx, Brooklyn, Queens, and Manhattan. I love my job, but it has given me a few gray hairs. Since the pandemic, teaching artists have gotten short shrift due to inconsistent funding and an abundance of red tape. I have watched so many of my incredible colleagues leave the work that they so deeply care about as the landscape becomes less and less sustainable. I have spent my dozen-plus-year career with a nonprofit that after 25 years announced this week it is closing its doors. And that's after fighting tooth and nail to survive. The upheaval in a job that was supposed to be the stability to allow me to continue to pursue my acting career has left me to question not only if I would need to leave this field, but also whether I would need to leave this city that I call home. It is unusual to stay with one organization, let alone one school partner year after year as I have, but it shouldn't be. Because when there is space and the resources to support a school, we are allowed to build relationships. It provides financial stability, not only for the TA, but lays the groundwork for rich relationships with the students. These relationships are built student by student in some of the most under-resourced New York City public schools, where a 2-hour workshop is the only arts education a deserving student might receive. These workshops are high impact. I see it every day. When there's a student in session 1 who won't raise their hand, but by session 16, I can't get them to leave.
Yes.
Mind shifts happen when a student learns that when they show up for themselves, anything is possible.
Yes.
So when that teaching artist doesn't show up because of lack of funding, it creates a void, not only in education, but in the fiber of the community that we've created. It is agonizing to hear a student say, "Hey, Halima, you're coming back, right?" when you know that you might not be. TAs show up all over this city, but this city doesn't always show up with us with the money. And that has to change. After a 30% self-employed income tax and the $26 I spent traveling round trip to my sites, there's not much left in my pay. And that's not okay. So if you value what we provide, and you should, pay us for our work. We're asking our council members, Ressler and Dinowitz, to make teaching artistry sustainable. Hold that joint hearing, invest in fair pay, build real support for the arts education infrastructure that you say you value. Our students, my colleagues, were worth it. Keep the arts alive. Mix in 5. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Halima. When I say fair pay, you say now. Fair pay.
Now.
Fair pay.
Now.
When I say teaching, you say artist. Teaching.
Artist.
Teaching.
Artist.
Now, I'm so grateful that we are able to close up our time together with, again, one of our city's best arts education champions, an educator himself and chair of the education committee, Councilmember Eric Dinowitz. We're grateful to have you with us. Come on up.
Thank you. That was an easy request. Yeah. Right colors, wrong team.
I know.
It's okay. I have no team. I tried to wear the right colors today. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Look, I'm a TikTok star. That's what this means. I've never held a microphone this small before. All right. Good morning. Good morning. All right. Do we love the arts?
Yeah!
You know, I love the arts too. The arts speaks to who we are as a society. And I was thinking this morning about the very earliest moments when I held my children. The very earliest moments we are all held as children. We are singing to our children. And we are dancing with our children. And we are putting beautiful artwork up in their nurseries as babies. It is who we are as a society, as a species. And that love stays with us up until forever. And so, of course, we have to invest in the arts because we are investing in who we are as a people. Now, we had a hearing on Monday. I chaired the executive budget hearing, and it was asked what % of schools are without a teaching artist or is without an arts teacher. 16% of our schools are without an arts teacher. That means 16, at minimum, 16% of the schools have children in them who won't have that teacher that allows them and teaches them to express who they are on the inside, who they've been since the moment of their birth. Now, I have been investing in the arts as a teacher. am an art student since I was born, since I did musical theater, since I did chorus and all of that, and I can tell you what it means to me, but more importantly, I can tell you what it means to my students. So many of my students, when I was teaching in the Bronx, whether it's because they came to school for the arts and stayed for the academics, or discovered who they were through the arts, discovered what they loved about themselves and what they loved about their communities through the arts, that every child deserves that education, that we must invest more in the arts, that we must have more robust arts programming in our schools, and it takes investment. I don't just mean dollars. We do need dollars. Let's be very clear. We need dollars. But we also need policy in place. Policies in place that incentivize our schools and our school system to invest in the arts, that incentivize our teachers, our principals, our superintendents, and our chancellors to make those right decisions. Because we here know what's right for our children. Investing in the arts is right for our children. It comes with money. It comes with money. I was afraid you were going to jump on me if I didn't say money. And that is part of the equation. Because we cannot continue to rely on a school system that has arts in its schools just because the principal or a teacher or a superintendent happens to like the arts. It has to be core to our school system, and it has to be core to our school system because the arts is core to who we are. So, to all of you, you not only have my support, you have my continued support to support the arts in the budget, but to support a policy that really embeds the arts in our schools, because I know what it means to our children, and I know what it means to all of us, and what it means to our city. So thank you for all of your work, and again, you have my continued support. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Please give it up for Councilmember Dinowitz. Who knows? Maybe one of these hearings will end with a performance as well. Who knows?
By who?
By you.
I think my whole job is performing.
Yeah. Well, with that, we are so grateful for everyone for joining us. To put a button on this, We want investment in our workforce and in arts education. We want to work with members of our city's leadership, including the fabulous council members that joined us today, towards contract reform, towards transparency, towards better embedding the arts within our schools. And we want more robust access and participation because it starts
With the arts!
Excellent. I'm now going to take a moment if there's any questions from press. Yes.
Bob Henley, WPAI Pacifica. Could you talk about, anyone might here have 10 years experience, what's been the arc of the arts in terms of the programs over the, like say the last, going back to Bloomberg, does anyone have the historical perspective? Has it been declining? Are we holding our own? You mentioned the councilman mentioned 60% don't have any interaction with an arts experience.
Sure. So when I think back over the
First,
past,
yourself.
my name is Kimberly Olson. I'm executive director of the New York City Arts and Education Roundtable. When I think back over the past 20 years, what happened in 2008 with the fiscal crisis is that New York City public schools cut dedicated funding for the arts. That was a huge shift, erosion of arts in our schools. As a result, we have been slowly trying to build back programs, build back in-school certified arts teachers, partnerships with arts and cultural partners, which then were once again hit when the pandemic struck. And these programs were decimated across all of our neighborhoods. We're heartened to hear that we're starting to rebuild that workforce with initiatives like Teach NYC, incentivizing the hiring of arts teachers, but that's simply not enough. This is a partnership between in-school arts teachers and teaching artists. And that teaching artist workforce is struggling. Where there is not an arts teacher, there is an artist that is offering arts instruction in dance, theater, music, visual arts, media arts, doing this incredible work without the investment and support they need to be able to afford to live in our great city.
And the follow-up?
Of course.
So one of the things, pulling back a bit, we know that there's also a truancy crisis. It's not talked about much, but COVID was the first time in modern history we stopped structured instruction in schools. And this is a double-digit problem here. We have a shrinking school population because of demographic issues, and then this issue. Isn't there research that shows that the one way to hook kids back into school and prevent them from being disconnected is something related to the arts?
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't work for you.
Yeah.
I don't work for you.
What do you all think? Yes. Who here has shown that students show up more when your programs are in their schools? Who here has seen a student say or heard a student say, I showed up to school today because I knew I had dance, I knew I had theater, I knew I had visual arts. Not only are we seeing it in real time, the research also shows. A report from out of Boston Public Schools over the course of about 20 years showed there was increased student attendance, increased parent engagement when there were arts programming offered at the school. The research is there. This is one of our best secret weapons, special sauce to helping support and engage our young people.
Now I have one more on
Of course.
economic development. Isn't it shown that young people that stay with education earn more throughout the rest of their natural life and pay more in taxes?
What do you think? Yeah, I mean, this is a cross-issue area. This is economic development. This is civic participation. This is creating healthy, safe environments within our city. It all starts with the arts. And so that's why we fight so passionately for these programs to be embedded in schools and communities and to have the workforce behind it who is qualified and able to do this work, knowing how important it is to setting students up for success in school and in life.
Yeah, art is the love language.
Yeah.
So would you guys come on? I want to give you 2 hours tomorrow morning from 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. Pick who you'd like to come on and tell like potentially 20 million people, make your case.
That sounds like a plan. Let's do it. Fabulous. Are there any other questions? Wonderful. To end us, I'll do another final chant. Keep arts alive.
Nixon 5!
Keep arts alive.
Nixon 5!